One thing I like about the Fulmin that a lot of other ones don't have is it visually looks appealing with the giant silencer on the end. But if this works as is hopefully intended, it is a silenced lightning shooter. The blueprint can be obtained from the marketplace. To build it, you will need 350 hexanon, which is from the disruptor missions, and 2 argon crystals. You could just purchase it outright, but it's not that hard to get the parts for, and honestly I thought I had way more hexanon than I actually have. But this is a mastery rank 8 weapon, and what do you compare this to? This thing looks like it's going to be a pretty good weapon until you do this and realise there is not a polarity to be had on this thing. And I'll admit, I was expecting this thing, considering it says automatic lightning gun, to shoot lightning bolts. It doesn't. It's actually much better than that, and I am getting a little bit sick of people referring to this as a shotgun. It does not use shotgun mods, therefore it is not a shotgun. It's primary fire mode. It's kind of weird. It shoots out a projectile that can hit multiple enemies, so it's amazing for crowd control, but it's silenced. It is fully silent in its primary fire mode with its 30% crit chance and 16% status chance. The secondary fire mode, however, is where things can get a little bit interesting. Mainly because it loses status chance, loses crit chance, and loses a lot of damage. It goes from 100 impact and 400 electricity to 25 electricity and 8 puncture. This comes down to the fact that it also increases the range. This thing's primary mode is probably the best mode for this thing. It is very short ranged. I found that being honestly the biggest problem with this was the primary fire mode. It just has a really short range. If it was a little bit further it would be great, but at the same time it would also be overkill. Swapping it quickly to secondary fire mode for the full auto, this thing has much better range, but obviously sacrifices damage. It also only uses 1 round, which is great because this thing has unlimited ammo. It works on kind of a battery type system, which means you don't have to pick up ammo. It starts to recharge after 1 second of not firing this thing. But in primary mode, it will use 10 rounds per shot, which kind of makes it a very lovely little weapon to use. I very quickly fell in love with this thing to the point of I'm on the fence about whether I actually want to put a lens on this or not, because I want to use it a lot more, but that range, well, I'm used to working close range anyway because I used to use shotguns all the time, so this will be a great return. And with it having the secondary full auto mode, we'll still have long range, and the animation for taking it off is great. If you are using Wisp with this, obviously switching the fire modes is even faster. And yes, I did end up formering this more than expected, and also at the same time differently than I expected. I threw 3 Vs on for serration, split chamber. It wasn't planned for the third one, but Point Strike had to go in there because with Vital Sense and Argon Scope on here, it has a 75% crit chance for its normal fire mode with a 70% crit chance for its secondary, making it really good on crit, with a 4.8 times multiplier on its primary fire mode, 5.3 on secondary. The dash that I format onto this is to kind of elemental combo this. I did just throw Stormbringer in there because it was electrical, so I thought I'd increase the electricity, and that was one of the first mods I put in this, and just left it there. I then topped it off with Malignant Force to add corrosive to it, and honestly Wildfire is only there until I can find an augment for this thing, and I'm hoping it will fit. And if it does, I will swap it for the V polarity that Point Strike is in. Probably have to format this thing with another V on it, but 3 Vs and a dash, you can get pretty much any build on this. I have this set up for corrosive at the moment, and wildfire, I only threw that on because it added a 20% extra magazine capacity and 60% heat. It was the 60% heat because, yes, it only took it to a 72 magazine, but it was worth it because with it being unlimited ammo, the primary fire mode using 10 rounds at a time, it means I can get 7 rounds off fairly quickly. And I could always swap to secondary to get rid of the other 2. I kind of wish that it just went to 70 instead of 72. That's 2 wasted rounds, but hey, the reload on this thing isn't that slow anyway, because it, as I mentioned earlier, it starts to reload after 1 second, and this thing, it actually amazed me. I was expecting the sniper rifle to be a good weapon for this, and this to be something like the amprex, because it mentioned electricity. It wasn't. It was nothing like that. Yes, it has electrical damage, but it doesn't shoot lightning bolts as I kind of expected from the description, which was a nice kind of change to what was expected, but at the same time, this thing just turned out to be absolutely amazing. I really do think I'll put another V on this before I want to say I'm done with it, but I probably won't be. This may find its way into my daily rotation. I use this thing instead of the Zenith, because swapping between its primary semi-automatic mode for crowd control and still having the full auto means that I'm running a shotgun, or something that is similar to a shotgun. Again, it's not a shotgun. And full auto, which I'm used to full auto weapons because I've been using them for so long. Anyway, I replaced the shotgun with that, so this should work out really well for me. I just really hope I can get my hands on a Riven for this fairly soon. But we'll leave this off here for now. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.